Hello, everybody. My name is Hill Bill, and with me today is Jay Padilla, owner and founder of Fab28 Exhaust. Jay, how you doing today?
Good, man. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We've known each other for a number of years now. I think I met you when you just started doing this, maybe 2 years or something like that in the game.
Yeah, yeah. That was around 2016, 17.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, what's interesting, like in this industry, it usually takes people a while to get accepted as a brand, right?
Yeah.
And your product you kind of got like the fast
I I've been blessed with that. Yeah,
pass.
for sure.
Well,
For sure.
you have a really good product and it speaks for itself. And I think that kind of helps a lot. How did you get started in motorcycling in general?
Oh man. God, started back in high school actually. Um, had a KX80.
Yeah.
Bike's a little big for me, right? Yeah, needed a milk crate to get on the bike, right? But yeah, started with that dirt bike, um, and then I just kind of made my graduated up to a street bike. And as you get older, I found myself on a Harley. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's cool. And then were you always into modifying?
Oh yeah. Oh, big time gearhead. I started out in the car world though. Um, you know, fixing up cars. I was like into imports and stuff like that. So um, picking up Honda
Surprise.
Civics and shit like that. Right? I know Asian, right? I know, right? One of the very few in this industry, actually. Yeah, I've always tinkered with engines and shit like that. Um, Made my own exhaust systems for my cars, and that's kind of where I got my knowledge from in terms of like exhaust systems and stuff like that.
Yeah, it seems like
Yeah,
a pretty natural expansion for you then to start this business.
yeah, no, it totally was. I mean, it's always been a hobby, right? And when I first got my first Harley, it was a 2014 Street Glide, brand fucking spanking new. And at the time, stainless exhaust systems were still like really new, you know. And the only ones available on the market were ones for Dynas. And I was like, shit, man, they don't have cool stainless steel exhaust system for a bagger. I'm gonna fucking make one. I'm making one, right? If
Yeah.
you can't buy it, build it yourself, right?
And so you built one unit. It's a one-off unit.
A one-off, right? Self-taught TIG welder. Um, wasn't really, I mean, metal fab and stuff like that wasn't necessarily new to me at that time. It's always just something kind of did as a hobby. Um, so it was pretty natural to kind of do this for the bike, right? Um, and as soon as I slapped that thing on the bike, all my other buddies with Harleys, they're like, "Hey, that's pretty badass. Can you make me one too?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And pretty soon it was just word of mouth. Everyone started asking me to build a pipe for them, you know.
Yeah,
And then I thought, maybe I have something here,
right.
you know. Um, and that's kind of how Fab 28 started.
It's a pretty big, quite a jump, isn't it, from doing something as a hobby to investing your life savings. You look around your shop and I mean, you have a really nice equipment,
Yeah,
and that probably took a lot of courage to turn your hobby into a full time life investment. You're risking a lot of money.
yeah, yeah. Like many other business owners in this industry, I bootstrapped this thing. I emptied my retirement, my 401k, and my savings account, right? And I just, decided to roll the dice. At the time I was what, um, early 40s, and maybe a little younger, but anyway, besides the point. Um, I felt like I had one more big risky move to make, right? Um, and I figured, screw it, let's do it.
Yeah,
You know?
good for you, man. Way to have the courage to do that and to have the family support too that allow you to do that.
Oh, well, families. My wife might have a different answer, but no, she's been supportive through this whole thing. And as you know, there's a lot of ups and downs. It's not always, it's never easy. Otherwise, everyone's doing it, right? But
Yeah,
you just kind of have to have the wherewithal and what is it? There was a saying I used to say. You have you have to be stupidly optimistic all the time. It's gonna be better next month. It's gonna
Yeah,
be better next month, right? I think that's a sickness all of us entrepreneurs have, right?
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Um, you're really doing a lot of things here with this company now. I had the opportunity to see some of the stuff you're doing back here,
Hmm.
uh, getting into different cars and making stuff with Pan America.
Yep.
Um, it seems like you're really diversifying.
You have to, right? Um, having a business that's relying on just one product, I mean, it's great, but you have to have diversity, right? Because you have to be able to kind of weather the ups and downs of the economy. And
That's
I forgot to put my phone
all right.
put that away. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, so you know, you have to be able to create various revenue streams, right? And you can't just put all of your eggs in one basket, right? So, um, what I did was I looked at, all right, we're doing motorcycle exhaust systems. What are some other things that we can do that isn't so far out left field from what we're already doing, right? And so the next uh, progression of the company was, well, let's look at other industries in power sports. And so the next one that made sense to me was side by side market. I mean, that market is just booming right now, and so for us, it made sense. Why don't we make a premium exhaust system for side by side?
Yeah. So you've ridden a lot of motorcycles because you create all these systems for a lot of different bikes.
Hmm.
What's one motorcycle you rode that really surprised you?
The Pan America. Uh, wow. I mean, man, how do I put it? It is just, it is not what I expected from the motorcycle, to be honest with you. I mean, this thing it's nimble, fast. Um, it's, I mean, it's the ultimate utility bike, and that's just something that was, for me, was coming out from left field from Harley, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. And I don't know how they can do that bike. I mean, it's an amazing bike. I mean, you can take it anywhere,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, yeah.
Um, have you been involved in any motorcycle accidents?
Not yet, as the saying goes, right?
Yeah.
You, you know, not luckily, no.
Well, that's pretty fortunate.
Yeah,
What do you attribute to your success of avoiding accidents on the road? What?
it's the presence of mind, right? It's totally different from driving, right? Where you know, driving a car, you can, unfortunately, you can, it's much more forgiving. You can kind of daze off for a couple seconds, like, oh shit, what am I doing,
Yeah.
right? With a bike, though, I mean, you're constantly on. You're standing way ahead of, you know, way far ahead of you than you would with a car, right?
Hmm.
Always scanning for shit that's coming that may come at you from the side and from all directions, right? Um, it's just that much more um, awareness, I guess,
Yeah.
that's required in writing, and can't get lazy with that, man. You really can't.
Have you had any involvement with any of uh, the Bagger Racing League bikes?
I have actually. There are sponsoring 4 bikes. Um, we had one in the pro class, and then we had a few in I forget what the class is, but um, Dynas and Sportsters.
Hmm.
And all of our riders podium, which is pretty
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, that's quite a success.
Yeah, yeah, it is. In fact, the very first race in Utah, we had Logan Lackey,
Hmm.
really big, he podium
Yeah, that's awesome.
on Bagger. And
He's always been a fast guy,
I know,
and
right?
it's in his blood. Like his dad was the only American 500 cc motocross champion.
Yeah. Brad
Yeah,
Lackey, right?
yeah. So he kind of, he grew up with that in his
Yeah, he
blood.
comes from some motocross
So he
royalty,
was able
right?
to podium with that system.
Yeah, yeah, which was pretty awesome. Then we had another guy, Greg Stinnett, on the Sportster. He podiumed that same day. It was just a fucking awesome day for us, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Yeah.
And being involved in the performance motorcycle aspect
Hmm.
is pretty cool because you're also involved in kind of a smaller group of this lifestyle in this industry, right? Because the
Hmm.
average age of a motorcyclist, of an American V twin motorcyclist, is going up, and you're
Yep.
part of that group that's really attracting the kids from like the dirt bike world, the
Yep.
street bike world,
Yep.
bringing that younger blood into.
Hmm. Yeah, a lot of crossover, right?
Hmm.
Um, and specifically in the Harley, the performance Harley sector, right? That's where we're getting a lot of crossover, right? Um, it's we're turning these heavy V twin bikes into um, something more along the lines of like a sport bike,
Yeah,
really. I mean, it's incorporating Brembo brakes and Galpa rotors, and, all that stuff, all of those parts and brands that are really uh, associated with like MotoGP and stuff like that, right?
yeah,
So it's pretty cool.
yeah. It's really great for the life and the health
Yeah,
of
no,
this
it is.
industry.
It really is.
What can people expect from
Mhm.
Fab28 in the next 2 years to 5 years? Where do you want to uh, navigate your business?
Mm. Oh wow, okay, that's a good one. In a couple years, well, let's see. In 2 years, I'm expecting to uh, really grow our car segment. Right now, we're kind of we're dipping our toe in the car world with BMW. We've been, we have a prototype coming out uh, in about 2 months. Uh, but once we get comfortable with uh, building car exhaust systems because they're longer,
Mm.
they're larger diameter tubing and stuff like that. It's just kind of handled differently versus a motorcycle exhaust system or even side by side. I really want to break into the exotic car market. Yeah.
Be able to see the your Harley exhaust on a Murcielago.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. And what we're putting out there is exactly what the exotic car enthusiast or owner is looking for, right? It's handmade, uh, it's high quality, right? It's something it's a brand that you wanna be proud of owning,
Yeah,
right? Um, yeah, so I'm excited to start doing exhaust systems for McLaren, Lamborghinis, and stuff like that. I think it's on brand, um, and I'm really excited about that.
it's cool.
Yeah,
You've made a switch recently where you're finally in the position in your life where you're not picking up that welding rod anymore. Uh,
yeah,
how does that feel putting that down and picking up all the marketing and doing all the big boy business stuff?
yeah. That's the direction I always wanted to. That was always the plan, right? Was to establish the brand with me, the guy, building all of these exhaust systems. But there comes to a point where your value as the owner is better served in business development and ongoing R&D, but most importantly is heading the, the marketing aspect of the business, right? Um, at first it was a little weird because, I was so used to just being under the welding hood day in, day out. Um, letting go, letting go. I know a lot of business owners can relate to that. It's a little bit of a challenge, right? Um, but it's required in order for your business to grow. right? You can't be the guy in the weeds. You kind of have to start stepping back and taking a bigger picture, right? And deciding where you want to lead the company to, right? And if I were under that welding hood 8 years later, I wouldn't have had the time to think about entering the car market, let alone designing a new exhaust system for a side by side, right?
Hmm.
Those are important steps for any business owner to take is being able to let go, seeing the bigger picture, and then filling seats with the right butts.
Right. Kind of like, I guess that's what Jesse Jurns,
Yeah,
kind of what Jesse from Legend
yeah,
Suspension did, right? He built his brand, and then he was able to take that leadership role, and he started making the side by side suspension
that's right.
and started doing, yeah,
Spot on,
yeah,
spot
it
on,
makes
right?
sense.
Yeah. Otherwise, your business won't grow, and you'll only be as big as what you as the owner is capable of doing. You know, in my case, too, if I was just a one-person operation, I'd only be able to build, a handful of exhaust
Yeah.
systems a week or a month.
What advice would you give to somebody who's considering entering the American V-twin motorcycle market, creating a company of their own? What advice would you give them to help them succeed?
Um, I think uh, it. Yes, you have to have a good product, obviously, right? It has to work. Obviously, it has to be good, right? But I think what's even more important is the brand building aspect, right? And when you're building a brand, um, you want to make a connection with your consumer, right? And I think it's very important that you establish that connection. You want people to feel like they know you, right? And so if anyone out there that follows the Fab28 Instagram, for example, right? My story feed is a lot of my personal stuff, right? A lot of people see my Frenchies, right? It's like they all know them by name, right? Like when people come here to the shop, hey, where's Ozzy or
Yeah.
where's whoever, right? Um, and it's just those little tidbits that you give people that feel like, oh, he's just one of the guys. He puts on his pants just like me,
Yeah.
right? Or if I show some, a story of me cooking at home, 'cause I love to cook it. I love to cook,
Yeah.
right? It's just showing that personal side, right?
Yeah.
Um, and letting people in on your story too. Everyone here knows that I came from a tech background. I decided to leave that nice paying job for this really hard life. I wouldn't trade it for the world though. But it's creating a story that people that, that it resonates with.
Yeah. That people can identify with.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right? That's one part of it. And then the next thing is the best way to sell something is to not sell it.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It's um, identifying the lifestyle that surrounds your product. In this case, it's the motorcycling lifestyle, right? And so when you're marketing your product, you you show all the aspects that are around it.
And then you
But
let the product sell itself.
exactly, if maybe you're just taking a quick shot of your exhaust system on the bike, but then it quickly pans to me and you fucking clinking beers,
Yeah.
having a good time, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're selling, the lifestyle, and
Yeah.
the product just comes along with it, right?
Yeah.
That's the best. That's how you get
Yeah.
started.
That's a great answer. That's a great way of explaining it. Well, I want to thank you so much for your time. I know that you're just getting moved into this new shop,
Yeah,
and thank you so much for allowing us to come in and pick your brain a little bit. It's
yeah.
always good to see you. I haven't seen you in probably 2 years
Two
now.
years, man.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Way too long,
Yeah, and
bro.
we live so close.
I it's crazy, right?
Yeah, we'll crush some burritos soon.
Yeah, for
Well, it's
sure.
good to see you again,
Yeah,
Jay.
man.
See you, buddy.
Yeah.